Church, for 5 seconds, did you also think that Clint was about to say that he wanted to stay married to Gina? Baby, me too. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me out there? Listen, to my returning church members, baby, welcomes. And to all my new people, please make sure to smash that subscribe button and to also click that bell notification so you are notified every time I decide to upload a video. Now, baby, listen, my outfit and my spirit today are aligned because they are both giving funeral, because we about to put some of these relationships to rest, okay? Now, let's jump on into our hot topics based on this decision day, and let's first and foremost talk about this outside venue, okay? Now, listen. Lower point, personal preference, could just be based off of me, but why does decision day always have to be outside? Okay, listen, I had so many high hopes when the episode started and it was, Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper talking in the barn. I said, okay, finally, listen, we are finally back inside. We are finally back in a controlled environment. We don't have to be subject to the damn elements no more. We can be indoors, okay? And then they're gonna walk their asses outside. I said, why? Okay, listen. Do y'all remember the good old days of Married at First Sight where they had the damn decision day indoors, okay? It stopped kind of around the whole time of COVID because I guess because of the restrictions, they couldn't have a whole bunch of people indoors and it was just easier to film it outside. Why can't we get back to the good old days, okay? I don't want to be subject to the elements. I don't want to have to deal with the wind and me thinking about to, blow me to the side. I don't want to think about the bugs flying around and all sorts of stuff. The grass is just too much, okay? Personal preference, okay? Lower point, but I just did not like the whole thing being outside again, okay? Drop down in the comments if y'all are like me or if you just really didn't care, okay? Now let's get on into best and worst dressed, okay? And let's start with the men, okay, first and foremost. Now listen. Fashion is subjective. There are going to be some of y'all that watch this video that don't like my outfit, okay? But that doesn't take away from how fabulous it is. It doesn't take that away one iota, okay? Baby, I'm giving funeral. I'm giving, Beyonce formation realness. I'm giving everything to y'all. So don't ever say I don't give y'all a theme and a look, okay? But in terms of these couples and decision day, let's talk about these fashions, right? So for the men, for me, best dress, I would have to give it to Clint, okay? I think Clint looked, he looked crisp, he looked classic, he looked clean, he looked amazing, okay? I really loved the color of his suit. It was very different from how we normally would see Clint and kind of like a different color from what you normally see. It was kind of like a play on that whole like Tiffany blue. It looked in that kind of vein, okay? I thought he was the best dressed for the men. In terms of the worst dressed for the men, I'm going to give it to Shaquille, okay? Because Shaquille, player, I know you like to take fashion risks, but this one looked like you was about to, MC down to the damn circus, okay? I was just waiting for them to hand your ass a mic and for you to say, this is the Universal Circus, okay? What was you wearing? I didn't understand it, okay? Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think in terms of the best and worst dress for the men, but those are my picks, okay? The rest of them didn't look bad, okay? What's his name? Chris looked like he was going to work, okay? So it didn't really look any, different or whatever. And Airris, y'all might be mad at me, but I thought Airris looked a little bit like a pimp. Okay, there's something about that whole gold burgundy combination that just, it was the gold, it was the burgundy, and then it was the chain, okay? It was just giving me pimp realness, okay? I'm not calling him a pimp, okay? I'm just saying those are the realnesses that it was giving me, all right? Now let's move on to the ladies. Best dress, I'm going to have to give it to Gina, okay? Gina had the girls beat by a mile, okay? The dress was beautiful. The cutouts were beautiful. The colors were beautiful. It was beautiful against her skin. Her hair looked amazing. Another damn, endorsement for her salon and the magic they do down there. I thought it looked amazing. Okay, so Gina had the girls beat by a mile. In terms of the worst dress, I didn't really have a worst dress for the women, okay? I truly didn't. All the girls, they looked good. There was nobody that I could actually pinpoint and say, like, she looked bad, okay? Listen, I told y'all Gina was my favorite. Nicole was given, it was very flowy. It was pink. It was given Gone with the Wind realness from, Kenya Moore from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? What's her name? Kirsten was given... what was Kirsten given? Kirsten was given First Lady of the Church realness. Y'all know how down to the church the first ladies always give you a little bit extra, okay? They put a little bit of ang yang yang on it, okay? When she had that little extra material on the side that draped down, I said, look at her high stepping into church, okay? Go ahead, Kirsten. She didn't look bad, but it did look like a First Lady of the church-based outfit, okay? And what's her name? I like Jasmine's outfit. I just felt that she was giving debutante, pageant girl-based realness, okay? Nothing wrong with that. I thought it was nice. The only thing I didn't like about Jasmine's outfit was the little piece of mesh that was kind of like in the middle of her situation here. Listen, if y'all couldn't tell, I'm a fan of showing skin, okay? So I would much rather you show skin than the mesh little part in between, because the green dress was beautiful. The thing about that whole, I think it's called illusion mesh, is that it's very hard to kind of match people's skin tone sometimes, okay? And it can look a little bit odd. So I thought she could have taken that away. There was enough materials that she wouldn't have been showing anything, but it's just personal preference. So like I said, best dress for the women, I'm gonna give it to Gina, and there was no worse dress. Y'all was all, okay. Now let's move on to our general couple updates for this decision day, and let's talk about Jasmine and Airris. And so in terms of their decision, y'all listen, I told y'all I thought it could go either way. I said it could be a situation where one person says yes, one person says no, they both say no, they both say yes, okay? And surprisingly, and maybe unsurprisingly to a lot of y'all, they both said no, okay? Now listen, there's power to me in knowing what you want, staying 10 toes down in a decision and moving forward with that, okay? And I think what it really came down to is that for both of them, they realized that this was not the marriage and this was not the marital situation that they both envisioned when they dreamed of getting married, okay? And that's okay, okay? I always say, there's power in calling something what it is, because then you don't have to wonder, you don't have to worry, and you don't have to place a name in terms of what it's not, okay? And this was not a conventional lovey-dovey romance-based marriage, okay? Y'all both learned lessons throughout this, but there was no real romantic sexual connection to sustain the marriage, okay? And I'm not saying that the sexual connection sustains it. I'm just saying, that's one thing that if you have it down pat, then you can worry about other issues, okay? They kind of did it in the reverse, where they worried about the other issues first, and they never got to that whole romantic sexual component. So listen, I think both of their lives were enriched by meeting each other, okay? Jasmine has learned to stand on her own 2 feet and speak her mind, okay? Airris has learned that intimacy is different from just, having sex. There are levels to intimacy. So they both learned some great worthwhile lessons from each other's company, right? Now, in terms of the aftermath, y'all, I was just hoping and rocking back and forth and praying. I said, I just hope that they keep it nice, okay? In the eternal words of Dorinda Medley, okay, from the Real Housewives of New York. Just keep it nice, make it nice, walk off, and we can just go off to the next episode, okay? But then it decided to go off the rails, okay? So I forget what the question that Pastor Cal asked, but Airris said something to the effect of, I love myself and I would want her to practice self-love and stuff. And, I hug myself every morning and you can't tell anybody anything about me. Like, I know who I am and stuff. Listen, often it is not what you say, it's how you say it, okay? And Airris, I understood from the moment you started speaking what you were trying to say. The problem is the words didn't come out in the right way, okay? I think, sometimes it's all about semantics, okay? And saying the words self-love, it instantly puts somebody in a detriment in terms of making them feel like, oh, you saying that you love yourself, or you feel like I don't love myself. The proper word you should have used was self-confidence, okay? What he was trying to say, and y'all go with me for a second on this. What he was trying to say is that I love me, okay? Can't nobody tell me nothing about Airris. I love me to the ends of the earth, okay? And so what he was trying to say was, no matter what you're going through in a situation, no matter what someone is putting you through, you should have confidence in yourself to know that you are amazing in spite of whatever else is going on, okay? And so I think if he would have packaged better, if he would have packaged it better, the message would have been received better, okay? But you going down this whole road of self-love, it instantly put her in a position where she felt like she had to defend herself, okay? And listen, if you let the truth be told, you taught her how to basically defend herself this damn season, so you can't be mad at her for doing it, when push came to shove. Now listen, in the eternal words of Funky Dineva, listen, fair exchange ain't no robbery, okay? If you want to tell me about myself, let me tell you about yourself, okay? So you want to talk about my self-love and the underlying message of self-confidence, let me tell you about your commitment issues. Let me tell you that, if it wasn't going to be one thing, it was going to be another thing with you, okay? You have issues you need to deal with as well, okay? So fair exchange ain't no robbery. If you want to talk about me, I want to talk about you, and we're going to talk about each other, and then we finna be through, okay? And that's basically what happened. Now, I hope this doesn't kind of bleed over into the subsequent episodes, because by all accounts, y'all don't really have anything more to fight about, okay? Because, you both said no, you both realized that it wasn't for you, and you both are moving on, okay? So, in the eternal words of Dorinda Medley, baby, just make it nice and move forward, okay? But Airris, work on your word placement, because you can literally create an argument by just switching a word, okay? It's not self-love, it's self-confidence, okay? And package it better. Now let's move on to Nicole and Chris. And this one was a foregone conclusion. Her decision was yes. His decision was yes as well. And so, I said this from the beginning, or from like mid-season, like y'all were the couple that basically was the archetype for everybody else. Okay. Y'all kind of set the standard for, this season in terms of the one couple that's actually going to get it right. Okay. Yes, Nicole has her idiosyncrasies. Yes, Chris is a little bit too concerned with the welfare of his dogs at every, wake, shake, corner, and junction, okay? But I think y'all together makes a lot of sense despite y'all issues. Now, in terms of the aftermath, I would really implore, Nicole to just run, not walk to a therapist's office, okay? Because you can literally talk yourself into so many arguments and so many situations that are unnecessary. You have a habit of creating problems where there are none, okay? So run, not walk to a therapist's office, okay? And that's not an indicator of, you being in a bad place. I'm just saying, Chris is equipped to handle certain things as your husband, but he is not equipped to be your be-all and end-all in terms of always talking you off of the damn ledge that you put yourself on half the time, okay? So run, not walk to a therapist's office, and you should be fine. In terms of Chris, y'all gotta really figure out this living together decision, okay? Because listen, first off, you said it was gonna be the Monday after the retreat decision. Then you said let's focus on decision day, and we can plan all that stuff afterwards. Well, basically, baby, now we are at the afterwards part, okay? So by the time that the next episode comes up, or the time, by the time we get to, I guess, these subsequent episodes and the reunion, y'all should have an idea in terms of y'all living situation, if not already being in it, okay? So now it's put up or shut up time, okay? You done dragged out this decision all this way. It's put up or shut up. Do you want to live with this lady and make this work, or do you want separate lives, and you're going to have to figure out what that even looks like for the two of y'all? Now let's move on to Gina and Clint, y'all, and talk about this decision. So for him, it was no. For her, it was no as well. But for 5 seconds, I truly thought that he might say yes, okay? Because he was going through this long, dissertation in terms of his feelings and the season. And it honestly, for a second, looked like he wanted to try to do life with her outside of the process, okay? And I was thinking to myself, would I have been okay with that? I don't think Gina would have said yes in any iteration of what he said. So I think it would have been a foregone conclusion. This would have ended there anyway. But it was an interesting segue and an interesting mental exercise to make to see if it could potentially work. But listen, I've said this before, his behavior and his comments and his crass nature were a fool, in the eternal words of Selena Johnson when the season started. He said things that he basically couldn't take back, okay? And, Gina, this is an and in both situation. Gina decided that those comments were the things that she wanted to, that was her hill that she wanted to die on, okay? So it's a contributory thing. Y'all both played a role in where you are, but, just like the expert said, I really thought that it was great that y'all were so amicable and y'all were so civil, okay? Because often, if you even look at what Jasmine and Airris, when it started off civil, it kind of took a turn for the worse by the end of it, okay? So the fact that y'all were able to, have this breakdown in the beginning, find a way to get past it, find a way to live together, find a way to develop a friendship, I think that's a testament to the strength that you both have, right? Now, the romantic piece of it didn't work out, but listen, that's okay. You can be a match with people on paper and it just not work out in real life, okay? And I think that's what, the Clint and Gina situation teaches us. Now, in terms of this aftermath, baby, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this whole situation of, what's his name? Clint offering Gina 10 racks, okay? $10,000 for her dog, okay? Listen, y'all gonna be mad at me because I'm about to go off the deep end, okay? Clint, Lisa Fisher has a song that's called How Can I Ease the Pain, okay? How can I ease the pain? And while watching you offer Gina $10K for Hank and her decline your offer, I started to think, how could I ease your pain, okay? And then it came upon me, honey, because God spoke to me, okay? Not G-O-D, honey. G-A-W-D spoke to me. That's more than regular God, okay? That is the Spirit that spoke to me. And it said, listen, Clint, I got a miniature schnauzer you could have for $8K. Okay? You pay me 8 racks, honey, I will literally deliver him to you, okay? Listen, we learned from this season from Jasmine that the golden doodles go for $5K, okay? So you can either get a golden doodle from Jasmine for $5K, okay? You clearly couldn't bamboozle Gina into letting go of her dog for 10, okay? But I'll settle with you for 8. Now, full disclosure, okay? He's 13 years old. He's slightly grumpy. He got doggy dementia and he don't like everybody, okay? But I feel that he has a good 2 to 2.5 years of love to give to you, Clint, okay? To nurse you through the dissolution of your marriage and also not being able to have Hank at your side at every wake, junction, and corner, okay? So, Clint, listen. Have your people get in touch with my people. Send me an email at datdamndasher@gmail.com and let's do some business, okay? Let's do some business. Now, I take cash, cashier's check, and Zelle. And my policy is no exchanges, no refunds, and no backseas. All right, now let's move on to Kirsten and Shaq, and let's talk about these decisions, right? So the decision for Kirsten was, yes, she wanted to stay married, and for Shaq, it was basically a cliffhanger situation where they left us pretty much on red until the next episode. And I'm like, is y'all really gonna drag this out to another episode? Like, y'all could have literally left it at the end of the decisions for everybody, and then let's move on to the next episode. But listen, sometimes it's the difference between the experiment and basically doing TV, and they had to give it some kind of a cliffhanger because they intend to extend the season a little bit, right? Now listen, I wasn't surprised when Kirsten said yes. I told y'all that, I truly don't know, and maybe y'all could drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts, but I truly don't know if she's holding on to Shaq because she truly sees value in him in terms of, what they've gone through these last 8 weeks, or if she's holding on to him so strongly because she feels him pulling away, okay? And so I don't know what really substantiates her yes decision, but, let's just be, reasonable, or let's just be positive and say that it's based on something good, right? So I'm glad that she could get over her, her lack of attraction to him in the beginning. She's able to see his good characteristics, what he brings to the table, and she wants to continue that in the real world outside of the experiment. So great. But listen, I'm allowed to change my mind. And once they started going through all their issues and the back and the forth and the whole rehashment of the season, y'all, I think Shaq should say no. I really do. I truly believe he should say no, okay? I could see it going either way. I could see him saying yes, and I could also see him saying no. Personally, for me, I would say no. I think on the fundamental things, everything is always on Kirsten's time, okay? You didn't meet her family until she felt comfortable. She didn't let her walls down until damn near the end of the damn experiment. Everything that you asked for seems to be fighting tooth and nail to get, okay? She makes these claims in terms of not wanting to put money into the house household, wanting you to take care of her, wanting you to upgrade her Mercedes to a Lamborghini, wanting you to buy her these fancy houses, these fancy, things and stuff like that. And she says it under the guise of joking, but in the eternal words of Tamar Braxton, y'all, I feel that lady is seriously joking, okay? So the fundamental things, I don't know if y'all are really a match on, okay? Shaq, I think sometimes I wonder if he's actually ready to be married entirely, because he has a lot going on. He has a lot going on in his life in terms of school, the mentees, his schedule, wanting somebody to constantly support him, okay? And this is where I kind of ride for Kirsten a little bit. I cannot be your end all and be all and be at all your work events, okay? Yes, my family is allegedly still on the run, okay? And yes, my schedule is flexible as a damn real estate agent, but I cannot be with you at every wake, junction, and corner in terms of all the things you have to do related to your, education and your job, okay? So he might need a more supportive wife and a more, I don't know, someone that can kind of play beta to his alpha, or the alpha that he wants to be in life, okay? And maybe that is Kirsten and maybe it's not. But in terms of what she's shown you so far, it's kind of like it might be a situation of too little, too late. And so he's going to have to decide if she has potential based on what he's seen from her in these last couple weeks versus, the entire 8-week experiment. So personally, I would say no, but if he said yes, I would understand it. Okay, so let's see what happens in this terms of this cliffhanger for the next episode. And y'all, thank y'all so much for keeping me updated in terms of the goings on about, what happens in this damn show sometimes. Because when y'all said that they was going to be trading spouses and what Clint was going to be kissing Dominique and people was going to be kissing each other, I didn't even know what y'all was talking about until I saw the previews for the upcoming episodes in terms of them following the couples further after decision day. So I think we have some really, really interesting stuff in store, right? Now, y'all, I think that's really all I want to talk about on this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, we got to look forward to this Shaq decision and apparently a new Married at First Sight special, which seems to be Married at First Sight presents Everybody Dating Everybody Else, a free for all to remember. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.